Hey everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. We've got a North Carolina beer for tonight's review. It's out of the Carolina Brewing Company, out of Holly Springs, North Carolina. All of their labels always have this lion kind of jumping out of the label, and all of their caps always have CBC, Carolina Brewing Company, on the top. Colors always depend on what the main label is. So this is a nut brown ale. It's a brown and green label, hence the brown and green top. Their Indian Pale Ale is kind of or actually their Pale Ale is purple instead of the green. And so that kind of just determines what kind of beer it is. This is a really cool local brewery out of North Carolina. These guys started this beer, this brewery, just kind of from scratch, and have really exploded in the last probably 5 years. Their beer is on draft in a lot of local restaurants. It's in a lot of the major grocery store chains. Their six-packs always range right about $8, which is a little bit less than some of the other six-packs these days. You know, Sam Adams might be $8.49, $8.99. A lot of the other, like New Belgium might be $8.99, $9.49, things like that. So the price point is usually a little bit lower. They make really good beer. They've been around for a while in North Carolina. This is their nut brown ale. They call it a medium-bodied dark brown ale with chocolatey and a toasted malt taste, which is what most nut browns are. It says it's got a little bit more of a nuttier distinction of a taste, and might be a little bit sweeter than some other brown ales. Kind of tell it pours perfectly like a nut brown. It's got a nice kind of reddish tint to it. Not a ton of carbonation, not a huge head, but you can tell it's got a nice, fairly white head. Laces around the glass fairly well. You don't want it. Nut browns don't need to be real carbonated. They don't need to have a lot of head. The classic nut brown has always been Newcastle. It's got that really, really nutty flavor, but in my opinion, compared to a lot of other beers, it's fairly flat. That's the way they're supposed to be. It's just the way that they're made. This beer, they talk about, uses 5 different types of malt barley to give the beer its color and its variety of flavor. It's got an ABV of 4.9%. When you smell it, what's cool about this beer is it smells like a nut. Literally. Which is what it should be. It's a nut brown ale. But even when you smell it, when you open it, you pour it, it almost smells like an acorn. It's obviously acorn's a little bit sweeter, but it smells just like a nut. It drinks very easy. It's very filtered, very clear. Doesn't have a lot of bite to it. Doesn't have a lot of IBUs to it. It's just got that classic nutty malt flavor. It's not very thick in your mouth. So some of the nut browns, as the nut brown category has progressed, get a little bit thicker. This is a very thin beer, very just kind of easy to drink, easy to swallow. It doesn't bite you in any way. I like this beer a lot. I've had this beer on draft, and I think it's better on draft than in the bottle. No disrespect to the bottle. I think it's extremely good beer for local beer in the East Coast, from a phenomenal brewing company that I think everyone should support, because they started small. They still remain small. They're not trying to get huge and global and build breweries all over the nation, which I respect a lot. Their beer is always fresh tasting out of the bottle. That is one thing I have always appreciated about this beer. Their Pale Ale, if you can find the Pale Ale, it's got a purple label on it. I don't think we've done a review of it. Every time I've had that Pale Ale, I'm always amazed that when I pour it out of the glass, it tastes like it's out of a growler. It's that fresh tasting. This beer is the same way. It just tastes fresh. At $8 a six-pack, it's a phenomenal deal. If you can find it, buy it. This beer for the nut brown category, I would give this beer a 5. So on microbeerreviews.com, we give beers a rating from 1 to 5. In the nut brown category, this is a 5, hands period. I would rather drink this than Newcastle. I would rather drink this than a lot of other nut browns that I've had before. This nut brown is exactly what the definition of a nut brown should be in a bottle. Well, now in the glass. Perfect. For the cost, for the freshness, it's awesome. So, in our review, we're going to give it a 5. So if you tried it, let me know. Please leave comments on our YouTube channel and our website. We love it when people who have tried the beer leave us comments. Thank you for doing that, everybody. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We upload often, and we're on YouTube, and we are on Twitter, and we appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.